Oh, Janet, you're muted.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Live Younger Business Call for Thursday, March 20th. I'm Janet Kiefer. I am your host today, Senior Presidential Director. We're very excited that you're here. We have a very chock-a-block full training this morning. So if you are a note taker, grab pen and paper. If you'd like to take screenshots, that's going to be fine. This is recorded, so if you'd like to come back to it, I recommend it. We have two wonderful trainers I'm going to introduce here. But we're going to be talking about the binary system that we all have, creating two teams, and how to work with it strategically. So if you're a brand new person with LifeWave, with the Live Younger team, if you aren't quite sure if this is a little bit beyond you yet, don't worry. Liz Hodges is going to tell you right here where to go access the very beginning compensation plan video. So Liz, where will they find that?
If you go to liveyoungersuccess.com and then on the navigation bar menu at the top, you go to Business Basics. And the very first drop down in that menu is the compensation plan. And if you scroll down to towards the middle section, you'll come across the video that goes through the entire compensation plan as an overview.
Thank you, Liz. So in the compensation plan, it's talking about our two-team binary system, even though it's then talking about bonuses. But as you're growing your business, I always tell my team, I don't think anybody got a PhD or a degree at college in network marketing. So these calls are really to help us all learn and train. So this morning we have Presidential Director Barbara Larrabee here with us to help explain the strategies. And we have Director Dr. Velvet Womack. And I'm going to bring up the slides here for us, share my screen. And Dr. Velvet, if you would like to open your camera and your mic, and Barbara Larrabee, we welcome you this morning. They've worked very, very hard on this presentation. And I will tell you we worked with our team last weekend. People found it very, very helpful. We call it Mastering the LifeWave Compensation Plan, Strategic Placement. That's the key here for maximum rank advancement, your goal, and income growth with the binary system. So I welcome Dr. Velvet and Barbara Larrabee, and go ahead, whoever's kicking this off.
I go. I'm going to have the pleasure of starting. So thank you, everyone, for being here with us. We feel that this is...
Pardon me, this is Barbara Larrabee. Thank you, Barbara.
We feel that this is a part of the compensation plan that there's a little bit of confusion around. You know, we have different sections, and that's why the number 3 is on this slide, is because we have other parts of the compensation plan that also add up together to give us our weekly total compensation. So today what we're doing is focusing on the binary, how those two legs that we develop, how do those pay us money? So here you are, you're the purple guy in this diagram, and your goal is to get 2 people on your right and 2 people on your left to get your team started. So this is what we do. We build 2 legs with our brand partners.
And Dr. Velvet, are you taking over here?
Yes. Good morning. I'm Dr. Velvet. And Barbara, it just couldn't get any easier, right? I mean, really, binary means you have 2 legs. That's it. You build on the left and you build on the right. But Barbara, can you explain to us why it's important to balance these legs?
Because your payment is based on the volume flowing through the legs.
Hold on, Barbara. Janet, can we go to the next slide?
Yes, indeed.
There we go. There you go.
Okay. All right. So if one leg is too strong, you're going to be losing commissions. And the leg with the higher BV is business volume. I think everybody in our group understands that each product has a point value assigned to it. Has a point value assigned to it, and all of these points accumulate in your legs, and they, whatever activity in those legs, it's going to be flowing up the legs and allows you to make a commission. So the leg with the higher BV is your power leg or your strong leg, and this can actually flip back and forth, so don't get hung up on which leg it is. But if one leg, called your power leg, is significantly stronger than the pay leg, and we call it that because every time you get the right number of points in there, it's going to kick off a commission for you. If that power leg is too big, you're not going to earn commissions from it, and you're just not maximizing your payout. So part of our goal with this presentation today is to give you strategy, and strategy is to build deep. And when we say wide, that means just a lot of your personal enrollments. Go deep. Just keep putting people on, keep putting people on. And in this example, we have 2,000 points on the left leg, and we have 1,500 points on the right leg. And so you're going to get paid your commission over and over again, a $50 commission every time the points are in the accurate amount, based on your pay leg, every time that pay leg hits the right number of points for you.
So before we move this on, Janet, I'd like to share with them what the shared leg is and the personal leg, because we talk about that a lot within our team. So your shared leg is that leg that you're sharing with other people that your sponsor may have enrolled you on. And that leg, you're going to see people that you don't even know, like everybody is building into that leg. Your personal leg is the leg that you are now building out, and that you're responsible for everybody that you've sponsored to build that personal leg out. So on the next slide, I'm going to share with everybody how those cycle bonuses are triggered.
Thank you, Velvet and Barbara. Before we go on, though, something that I realize we probably should have mentioned here, as they go into the cycle bonuses, you need to be at a manager level to really maximize those. So as Barbara said, getting 2 people left and 2 right, so that these points start paying you out in these $50 cycle bonuses. So let's jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to share with you how those cycle bonuses are triggered now. So a cycle is triggered when you have 660 on one leg and 330 on the other leg. And as Barbara said, it can flip-flop, right? But that's what you're looking for, is that trigger. So the right leg in the, if we have 1,500 BV, and we divide that by 330, we're going to get 4 cycles. We can't count the 4.5. It just has to be 4 cycles. So in this example, using that, you would have gotten 4 cycles. However, if you look at the left leg, right, because Barbara said that's going to be your pay leg, that left leg, if you take that 2,000 and you divide it by 660, you only get 3 possible cycles. So in this example, you're only going to get paid for the 3 cycles.
So Dr. Velvet, that leftover on the lesser leg, does it just wait there for more points on the other side?
That's correct.
It,
so
right?
yeah, that's correct. So until you've used those points just continue to stay there. So if you were only able to cycle 2 cycles, those remaining points would stay there until it's triggered again. Good
Correct.
question.
Thank you. And those of you just new with us today, again, don't worry, you'll be able to follow this on the recording. You'll be able to go back over the slides, but we will tell you, this will make sense to you when you start getting cycle bonuses. It gets really fun. Go ahead, Barbara.
Yes, so I wanted to add here, there's a question that I saw in the chat. What is a cycle? And we may have it on an upcoming slide, but let's just explain it right here while we're talking about it. A cycle is anytime you have the exact point you need on either the right leg and the left leg, and they have to match, just like Dr. Velvet was explaining here. If you have 330 points of volume activity in one leg and 660 points of volume activity in the second leg, in the opposite leg, whichever one it is, you earn $50. And that's a cycle. And so our goal is to have enough volume activity in our legs to be able to earn that cycle over and over and over again all day long. And this particular bonus actually caps out at $25,000 a week. A week. That's $1.3 million a year. And so it's all about the volume. What kind of volume activity do you have in each leg? And how do you keep your legs at the perfect balance, which we never can, but at the best balance in order to pay you the most commission? This is what we want to try to help you with today.
So
Thank you.
Barbara, why don't we go to the next slide and give them a real live example?
Perfect. So here it is. So again, you get paid cycles based on the BV in the pay leg. And again, it can be either one. It's the smallest leg. Let's just call it that. And every cycle, how many times can you get 330 out of that? So here in this example, that leg has 4,000 points in it. Well, if you divide it by 330, you're going to be able to cycle 12 times. At $50 a cycle, that would be $600. And fortunately, in the shared leg, you have enough volume to help with that. So you've got 20,000 BV there. That has to get out 660 points per cycle in order to also be able to trigger the $50. So it's a question of how many times can you get 330 out of one leg, how many times can you get 660 out of the other leg, and as long as they match up, that's how many cycles you're going to get paid for. And then anything left over is carried forward to the next week.
Yeah, so this is a great time to do a little practice, or at least you guys screenshot this, because many of you may be new and you may not know how to check these numbers. So if you open up your back office, you're going to see over to the right there on the home screen, real-time qualifications. You're going to be looking for the total LV and your total RV, because that is what you're getting paid on each and every single week. So for an example, just take that lowest number that you have and divide it by 330. Now write that down, and that's a potential for a cycle bonus. So what did you get, right? We're not expecting you to do it right now, but at least ask yourself, what am I getting every week? Now take your larger number and divide that by 660. How much could you have made? So if it's up in the 20,000s and you've only got like 1,000 over on the other leg, you're going to get paid based on that 1,000. But go ahead and take a look at that bigger number and say, what could I have made if I had it more in alignment at that ideal maximal potential? So Barbara, some people may not understand how to switch their legs. So would you mind explaining that to them?
And Barbara, before you do, hold on a sec. Just if I may help you guys, because I remember some people get very confused by the binary. That's fine. It's really still just two teams. People are buying product. The product points are flowing up. If you're confused, get with your upline. They're happy to help you with this. But what we're trying to point out, especially if you're new, is our company's very generous, you guys, and it's worth helping people. They're going to help you grow your income. And we're trying to show you deep in these points how it works. Because once you get it, that you have this potential, I think you're going to be very excited.
Yes. And just to refer back to the last slide, let me interpret the LV and the RV if you're not familiar with those terms. LV means your left leg volume, and RV means your right leg volume. And again, it doesn't matter. One week, one leg may be higher than the other week, the next week. So my totals flip back and forth all the time. So, but that's what that means in your back office when you're looking at your number. Left leg volume, right leg volume.
And to Barbara's point, let's say someone enrolls someone down your either leg. You don't know them, and they get excited and they start sharing and they start building volume. And you're like, whoa, where'd all these points come from? That's how dynamic the binary is. It's some of your work and it's some of everybody else's work that grows over time.
Yes, thank you so much. So this is how to switch your legs. And this is one of the first things you want to help your new brand partners with. It eliminates a lot of confusion for sure. So if you will go search in the very first box on the left where Dr. Velvet has her name, that's on the top right-hand side of your screen. Your name is there, your renewal there, and your little shopping cart is there. All right, click on your name. And then if you would go over, take your eyes over to the right, that's what it looks like once you've clicked on your name. It opens up a little menu for you. You want to click on the button that says Change Settings. Then in the bottom left corner, we see the next slide. The next step is showing us our account settings. So you're going to scroll, pardon me, you're going to scroll down the page until you get to the spot where it says, what is your binary leg preference setting? And there is the right leg, build left, build right, or strong leg outside. Strong leg outside is the computer default setting. That's the way it is set when you first start up as a brand partner. And typically that's where your first brand partner goes when you start enrolling. It is either your right leg and your left or your left leg. We don't know. Your upline can tell you, and you'll see it when you enroll that first person. And then maybe, not always, but maybe by the time you're ready to enroll your second person, you would want to change your leg setting so that they go on the opposite leg. So be sure to consult with your upline as to the best strategy for you when it's time for that next person.
So Barbara, if I made a mistake and forgot to do this, what happens if I put the person on the wrong team? Does
Yeah,
the
thank you so
company
much.
help us?
Yeah, I almost forgot to say that. So very, very, very important for you to know. If you have realized that your brand partner ended up on the wrong leg, it wasn't the one that is the best placement for them or for you, you have 5 business days to call customer service, and they will very gladly switch that person over to the other leg. Do not delay on that. It's very critical that you treat it as a piece of business that you take care of, because once that 5 days goes by, you can't switch that person. But they're happy to do it. They do it all the time. It's not a big deal. Just you need to be proactive with your organization, with your back office, and be on top of these enrollments and be on top of making sure that they have landed in the right place in your organizational tree.
Thank you, Barbara.
So I'm going to share with everybody what happens when our power leg is too strong. And I'm seeing comments in there, mine's set for the other leg because it's the weaker leg. And you do want to do that. We're going to talk about balancing those legs a little bit later. But let's just take an example of what happens when the power leg is too strong. So let's look in this example. We've got 20,000 in that power leg. That means that's the higher volume leg. If we take that and divide it by 660, that gives us 30 cycles, okay? So 30 times 50, because a cycle equals $50, that's going to give us $1,500. So if the right leg had, right, we see that it's got 4,000 in here, but if it had the 10,000, this would have allowed for the full compensation of the 1,500. So if we've got that 20,000, divide that by 660, that's 30. If we had 10,000 by 330, that would have been 30. So the ideal goal is to have one leg twice as big as the other leg. So basically in this example, or if we only had that 4,000, let's say that we only had that 4,000, and if we divided that, that would have been 12 cycles. So 12 times 50 would have been $600. So if we take that $100 away from the 15, we left $900 on the table, folks. So it's
But it
always,
didn't go away. It's waiting.
it didn't go away. You just have to wait a little bit. But you now know what your goal is I got to get it at least half that size.
All right. So on this leg, this is a recap of our magic formula here. So we've got the shared leg on the left side in this example that has 20,000 points, and it's going to allow for 30 cycles at using up 660 points with every cycle. On the right side, which in this example is the personal leg, it's got 10,000 points, and every time you use a cycle, it's going to take away 330 points from that 10,000. It also is going to allow for 30 cycles. So you have the magic formula, the magic balance here represented on this slide. So again, 2 to 1, this is what our goal is.
And if I may
Mhm.
add there, when you hear the word balance, we don't mean equal. We don't mean 10,000 and 10,000. You're never going to get your teams equal. That won't let you cycle. As they're pointing out, you need this balance, meaning more on one side.
Right, that's right. So I'm going to share with everybody how to fix it and to maximize those earnings. So I see a lot in the chat. Well, mine's automatically set for the default. You might not want to do that because that default is going to put it on the strong leg. That strong leg is typically your shared leg, and you need to be working on your pay leg, which is typically your personal leg, but like Barbara said, it can go back and forth. So what you need to be mindful of is place new enrollments in your weaker leg. This is why you should be looking at your back office every single day to look at those volumes so that you understand where you need to be placing people. The pay leg, making sure to stay balanced on both legs. Balance, again, like Janet said, isn't meaning equal. It means you need to have one leg bigger than the other, meaning twice the size as the other leg. You also need to help your team members in your pay leg enroll new partners, but remember to help your strong leg as well. So while you're focusing on your personal leg or your weak leg, you've got to also remember you've got another leg over there that you need to pay attention to as well. But while you're helping your team members on that other leg, that pay leg, that volume's all coming up to you. So it's about using strategic placement to balance the volume over time. Again, you're only going to be able to do that if you're looking in your back office every single day to find out what your teams are doing too. It's not just about, oh, I enrolled somebody, I need to go check out, on my back office to see how that is. Your teams are going to put people in there, and you're going to need to be watching how that's impacting both of your legs. So monitor your BV weekly to ensure that those legs remain like you, Janet, not balanced, but that they're balanced in the ideal way to maximize your cycle bonuses.
Thank you.
Okay, so with this is reinforcing how you get paid, basically. You only earn a binary team commission from the volume in your pay leg. And in this case, the pay leg is on the right-hand side. So it's struggling to give you 330 points to create a $50 cycle. So your goal is to grow the pay leg in order to maximize your commissions. And in this case, it would be advantageous. This is strategy. I actually love this binary compensation plan because it's really kind of fun and you get into strategy. But so your strategy is to place strong leaders on that pay leg so that you can bump up the volume happening in that leg. And it's going to be able to increase the number of cycles that you actually get paid on once there are more points flowing through that leg.
So Janet, with based on what Barbara said, I just wanted to say real quick is sometimes when we enroll somebody, we have an idea that they're going to be a strong builder, and then sometimes they don't wind up being a strong builder. So really the key is keeping balance into what you're looking at in your back office. Now, I've already seen a question in the chat about, do PCs add to our volume? So we're going to make this very short because this could be a whole another webinar all on its own, another lesson. But they do. But what we want to keep in mind, just keep these things in mind for right now when we're talking about the ideal situation in cycling, is that PCs generate product volume, BV, but do not contribute to rank advancements. Only your brand partners help expand that binary team structure. The other thing we need to keep in mind is that PCs do not have a duplication effect. And what that means is that they're not enrolling other people. So there's no duplication or team growth when it comes to that. Now, we need to have PCs. We want PCs. And yeah, if all they want to do is use the product, they're not interested at all, then that might be an ideal situation for them, right? It is really what they want and not pushing somebody to do something that's uncomfortable. So the other thing we need to keep in mind when it comes to PCs, without new brand partners, your pay leg remains weak, limiting commissions. So if you're just putting in a bunch of PCs, you're not helping your team grow, and you're not helping with that team volume as well. So Barbara, we have 3 other points that we really need to discuss about that on this next slide.
Okay, so here's another thing. And again, like Dr. Velvet was saying, we love our PCs, but they generate the retail profit for us, and that is one time, rather than generating the opportunity to get residual commissions. We actually earn more long-term money by building a team that cycles consistently and giving you commissions over and over and over again. And the other thing is that the PCs actually hinder rank advancement, and Dr. Velvet had mentioned that, because to advance in our rank, those are brand partners that qualify us for our ranks. So for example, the manager rank, you must have 4 active brand partners with the proper points under them, and 2 on one side and 2 on the other side, and that can enable you to be a manager. But a PC doesn't enter into that. They do not help you rank up to manager, and manager opens up more commissions. So there's tremendous value in PCs, but they aren't going to help you move up the ladder in your ranks, which helps you earn more money. So because the higher ranks unlock other bonuses too. And so it's very critical for us to keep our eye on loving on our PCs and adding PCs when we can, but building the team structure is very critical. And you wipe out that duplication factor. As Dr. Velvet was saying earlier, when you have a team of PCs, you're getting the commission, that's great, but you are not duplicating. And so we're using the word balance a lot. We want a balance of some PCs, but really the focus is on how do you structure your growth as a brand partner and the ranks, because that's the way you're going to maximize your commissions.
And may I here for a moment? I will let everybody know that the company is launching a bit of a revised comp plan later this year. They understand this issue. I don't have details, and if I did, I'd be sworn to secrecy. But just know this strategy, we're hoping later in the year, is actually going to be just tweaked a bit so that new people coming in are earning money faster. It's going to be more advantageous. So use this strategy now, and as soon as we know the details of the new comp plan, we'll update this presentation.
Yeah, so we really need to talk about the solution right now, right? What's going on right now. So encourage your PCs to upgrade to brand partner. If they've been a PC for 6 months, it might be a good idea to get on the call with them and say, "Hey, have you been sharing the technology with others? Are you ready to sign on?" And just take it in that perspective. So train your team as quickly as possible to enroll at least 2 partners early on. This is going to set up a big stage of duplication, getting people involved. And then you want to teach that duplication. Partners, enrolling partners for leverage, right?
So here is a question. If a BP on my right leg enrolls someone on their left leg, do I still get volume for that new enrollee, even though they are on their left leg? And the answer to that, and I hope you could all visualize that. But you know, it does seem kind of weird because you've got the one leg, and then you've got these other ones coming off on the inside track. And yes, those are all, they all belong to you. All of that volume flows together to that brand partner, and then it flows up to you. So yes, absolutely. So the reasons are you're going to earn matching bonuses no matter where they are. If they are your personally enrolled team, their team volume and their earnings contribute. Placement does not matter. It's not going to change this, but sponsorship matters for that. And all volume rolls up the binary tree. Every sale and enrollment made anywhere below your placement contributes to your team volume. So even if a new brand partner comes in at level 6,000, which, hey, we would love that, their BV still counts toward your cycle commissions. Pardon me. And the important thing to know is that if you are not active, all of this stops. All of this cancels out. You lose all the points you've accumulated. So it is.
May we stop for a moment for those people new with us, that Barbara's going to explain active very quickly, because that's one of the requirements for you to earn this money and keep the points is to stay active. So please explain that, Barbara.
Yes. So to be active means that you yourself have 55 points. Like even an Eon is worth 55 points. The X39 is worth 77 points. So if you are not yet a manager, then 55 points is going to keep you active. And this can be your auto ship. This can be an order you place. This can be a maintenance pack. There are different ways to stay active, but you have to have 55 points. If you are a manager or higher, you need to have 110 points each month to maintain your active status. So again, this could be an X39 plus an Eon, and those two together are going to keep you active, or two X39s. Those will keep you active at your rank so that you can maximize any commissions. And the sad thing, we have seen it over and over again, somebody with 200,000 points accumulated because they haven't been able to get their other leg cranking the way they want to in order to get that 2-to-1 ratio and pay that money out to them. I mean, it's just like a bank account. Your points are sitting there waiting for you. I talked to somebody the other day, and she has 9,000 points waiting for her if she just gets one more person active. I mean, 9,000, I said that wrong, $9,000 is what she has, has waiting for her. So it's going to wait for you. Those points are going to wait for you. But if you go inactive any month, it is gone overnight. Those points just disappear. So you want to be very engaged with your back office. It's a good idea to be on a subscription in order to maintain your active status no matter what.
And if we may pause here for a moment, Dr. Velvet, would you explain very quickly that you were involved for about a year and then you had to take almost a year off, and what happened with your points and how it benefited, what this whole model did for you?
Yeah, that'll give them a really good example because it happened to me. So when I first started up, I was pretty quick to become a manager. So that meant I had 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and I remained active with my 110 points every single month. Well, we had a friend that fell ill. So for a solid year, we had to kind of distance ourselves from building LifeWave because we were his full-time caretakers. But what I noticed is that all this volume was coming in and my team was building while I was taking care of somebody. So I had these business volume, all of this volume on the left and the right, and I would go in and check and say, oh, I wonder what's going on with LifeWave, or I need to check my order. And I would see that I got paid, right? Because those cycle bonuses were still happening. But as long as I remained active, even if I didn't cycle, those points remained there for me until they got triggered. And remember, a trigger is 330 and 660. So every time that happened, I got a bonus. It might have only been $50 in one week because there was no activity going on and I definitely wasn't able to do it. But the reality of it is that once I became active again, those points were ignited.
So it's worth it to pay attention. So we need to wrap up here pretty quickly. So let's take it home here.
Yeah, so you still help and coach your enrolled partners, even if they're placed on another leg, meaning they're still your people. You still need to work with those people. It is your responsibility to help them grow regardless of their position. It's not only you're going to help people that are helping you earn, they're all helping you earn, right? So everybody is helping you earn. So strategic placement helps to build team balance, not enrollment benefits. So where a new brand partner is placed affects team balance, but not sponsorship benefits. So regardless, the only reason to care about placement is to strengthen the weaker leg and optimize your cycles.
Thank you. So as we wrap up, again, watch this again, because as you grow your team, these will make sense to you, especially if you're first starting. So it doesn't matter where someone's placed. It's if you personally enroll them, they stay linked to you for your bonuses, your ranks, your commissions. And placement is about this strategic balance. It's not losing personal sponsorship benefits, which that's a whole topic to go into. But your focus is sponsor strong leaders, place them strategically, help them grow, and the benefits will flow up. So again, of those of you who joined us late, Dr. Velvet Womack, director, soon to be senior director, and Barbara Lara, be presidential director. And if Liz has put in here, Live Younger YouTube is where this recording will be housed. And if we have some questions we haven't answered, I have not been monitoring chat. If you would like to raise your hand down, if you're on a computer at the bottom of your screen, it says react with a little heart. You can go ahead and raise your hand. It'll let me see you up. Here's Renee. Thank you, Renee. So Renee, go ahead and unmute your mic. What question would you like to ask?
Good morning, ladies, and thank you so much for explaining about the compensation plan. I just wanted to know, for example, there are new people who may not know this. That's why I'm asking this. Like, if if you have no rank and you have 55 points requirement, and you have preferred customers, will they will they replace your required 55 points auto ship?
I'll answer that, and the answer is yes. Thank you, Renee. So when I was talking about what keeps you active at those 55 points, I said there were several different ways, and Renee has picked up on one that I didn't add, which is your customer orders, your preferred customer orders. Their numbers add to your personal purchases to create that $55 or 55 points to keep you active in a 31-day period of time, or 110 if you are a manager or above. And the one thing I would caution you on as far as relying on customer orders, I mean, you may have 2 customers. You think, oh, I don't have to order this month because I have enough points to keep me active. Well, what if one of those orders doesn't go through? And the other thing is that they are assigned a different point value than when we buy a product. And that's because the company is paying us a commission. So the point value is different. So for example, on X39, if we just buy one, is 77 point value. But if it goes out on a customer order where we've been generously paid a commission, that's only 43 points. So if you think to yourself, oh, I have one customer order that shipped this month, I'm good, I don't need to order, that is not the case. So if you're relying on your customers, you've got to watch it. And a better thing to do, I love that you asked that question, Renee, because a lot of people don't know this. So anyway, it's wonderful if they're keeping you qualified, but you have to be on top of it.
Thank you. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you.
Lori, go ahead and unmute.
Yeah,
Lori first.
good morning. Thank you for this. This was really helpful. I was wondering if, and this isn't a question about today's, but I'm wondering if there's anywhere where there might be some information. I have people saying, hey, I want to make X a month. How can I do that? So is there like a, hey, you can do this and make that, or that type of thing?
May I pause Velvet and Bart for a minute? Thank you, Lori. Lori, you need to go back and watch the whole commission video, the
Okay.
compensation video, because they have to understand how we're paid, because we're paid when we enroll people, let's say a brand partner, you're enrolling a core or an advanced or a premium pack, that's a commission. So do we say, oh, you just enroll them and that you're going to make $500? Or is it a mix where you're enrolling and now, as Velvet and Barbara explained, you have cycle bonuses? Well, they're contributing. So there's no 1-to-1 ratio. You might have preferred customers in that mix where you earn 20%. So watch the compensation video again. There are strategies that would probably be a good training we should pull in, because as you rank up, there's another bonus, a matching bonus for building managers. And that's actually the biggest. That one can make you a millionaire. So let's keep going. So I don't have a 1-to-1 answer there, right thing, but thank you. Michelle, go ahead and unmute.
Good morning. Thank you, Janet and Dr. Velvet and Barbara. This has been extremely enlightening, ladies. Great, great job. There was a time not that far in the distant past when Robin and Gregory were encouraging us because of something to do with FTC about enrolling customers. Do you remember that, Janet? And they were saying we have to get more customers, otherwise we come under scrutiny. So could you please explain why there's a much bigger thrust and focus on brand partners and not so much on customers now?
Thank you. Thanks, Michelle. Michelle's been around a while and knows these things. If you look in your back office and you're going to enroll a brand partner and it says starter kit $25, the Federal Trade Commission requires all direct sales network marketing companies to offer a way to come into the business without buying product. It's just a legal requirement. So if you're enrolling them at $25, you solve the FTC's requirement, but it didn't really do much. They didn't get any product or anything. So the Federal Trade Commission also wants companies to have customer base. It goes way back. I don't have all the history, but it was really companies who were just enrolling people as brand partners, building this in, and weren't really offering customers. And it became, I don't want to call it a Ponzi scheme, but a whole bunch of stuff went on years ago, and there's lawsuits. So they always require us to have preferred customers, as we call them, that way, and the option. And you all know that some preferred customers don't want to build a team. They don't want to have a business. The flip side is you might have brand partners enrolled that still are technically customers, right? They're just buying the product in wholesale. They might share it later on. So again, Michelle actually uncovered one of the issues that LifeWave is trying to fix with the new comp plan. So Michelle, I hope we'll have some clarity on that later in the year.
Okay, can I ask just a follow-up to that real quick, Janet? So is there a percentage now? I mean, is LifeWave just to keep things above board? No, not right. No, there's not like we need to have 20% customers or nothing like that.
I've never heard it. I
Me
won't,
either.
I mean, Gregory and Robin, we may ask them next week when they're back, but I
There,
don't,
there is not.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other questions? Go ahead and raise your hand if you can. And if you're on your phone and can't find that, just go ahead and start talking. We'll help you. Because sometimes you're on your phone and you can't find it. Great. Yes, Renee again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I wanted to ask this a while ago. But anyway, um, so everybody has a 55 point if they have no rank. If they have an overage, like for example, they have 110 or whatever, will those points be uh used as a business volume so that it will add to their points right now, or will they just all go up? Because all the points go up, right?
Barbara,
Thank
get
you.
up to the plate and swing at that one.
Oh, Renee, you're just picking up on all the nitty gritty. I'm so impressed. Okay, so something we didn't cover today because we didn't want to muddy the waters is that once a month, LifeWave takes all of our purchases, the points from our own purchases that are over 55
There's
or
a lot
over
to this. They're gonna change
110.
Lifeway's gonna come out with a different comp plan.
Okay.
Laura.
Anyway, so the points that are over the requirement to stay active, LifeWave takes those points. I mean, maybe we've had a big special and you bought 500 points worth of product, but you only needed 55 points to stay active. So LifeWave is going to take the rest of those points, add them to the customer points, and put them into our lowest leg once a month. It happens in the week of our pay cycle that includes the first day of the new month. So it'll be coming up very soon, maybe in 2 weeks when we get to April 1st. Whatever week has April 1st, you'll see a boost in your lower leg points because they're adding in your customer points and anything you've purchased in the last 31 days over the required numbers for staying active. And what this can do for us, I mean, I think that's amazing because we're actually getting paid twice on our customers. You know, the commission when it goes out the door, and then their points come into our legs so that we can qualify for another cycle bonus. So it helps us get to that next $50.
Thank
And
you.
yeah,
I'm gonna pause this here because some of you knew, don't worry about that yet. We'll get you there, but thank you, Renee. Thank you, Barbara. MJ, go ahead and open up. We want to be timely here. MJ, do you want to unmute? Do you have a question? Maybe not?
Yes,
Things-
yes, yes, yes. I'm so sorry. I stepped away from the phone. Great job, ladies. Now, for those who don't know, I would love for you to explain what happens when a P, a BP or a PC returns the product. How does that affect our commission?
Velvet,
Thank
do you want
you.
to grab
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah, I'll be happy to share on that one. So let's say that you had a BP that signed up and then they have a month to return that product for a full refund. What's going to happen is whatever the volume was and whatever the bonus structure that you've received, it's automatically going to come out of whatever leg that was on. So if it happens to be something on your shared leg where a BP signs up and decides they don't want to do it, this is going to impact the whole team. You're going to see that amount come out, and you're going to look at, if you're looking at your bonuses every week and you see that you've made $400 in there, and then all of a sudden at the end of the week you see, oh, I have a lot less. What happened? You'll see that somewhere down the line somebody returned a product. So it's going to remove the kit, whatever they paid for that kit, and anything that's impacted by that amount of money is going to impact everything that you're doing there on. So hopefully that happen. And with PCs, they have 30 days, or is it 90? They have 90 days. So
90
it can
days.
happen anywhere in between there. And you'll also see that will come out of your bonus structure as well.
And if you are confused, call customer service. They're really good at filtering down. They'll go, oh, this person returned their product. That's why we deducted it. So just call customer service. They're great. Thank you. Great question there, MJ.
Mijay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
that's called chargebacks. So
Mhm.
that's what we do have, and a lot of people think that we don't have chargebacks, but we do.
We do.
So
Fortunately,
thank
not
you.
many though, because
Not
our
many,
product
not
is
many,
so
and that's a
fast.
blessing.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other questions? And I thank you, Al, who said it's the first time he understood this whole structure. So thank you. We're glad you did. Because it's comes with time. But a quick story that always impressed me, in a former company I was with, they had the same binary and the same cycles. And this trainer came from Wichita, Kansas, down to Dallas, Texas. And he was going to train that weekend, and he was a leader. And on the way down to Dallas, he was singing country songs and having a great time in his truck. And he cycled 2,700 times at $50. That's the power of this. So when people are like, oh, is it worth doing? Trust us. This is a huge year for LifeWave. Huge. You want to be at the conference in October in Anaheim. You want to stay plugged in. We have more coming, a better comp plan. The water machine's coming. We have a product that no one has, X39. And everybody you see around you over 40 has stem cells that are declining. We have such an enormous market, you guys. This is so worth you doing, even if you're like Velvet. She could only do it part-time, had to step back to help someone, which she did. The man lived. It's been a great success story. But stay with us. This is worth doing. As someone said long ago, is the juice worth the squeeze? It is. It is. Barbara and Velvet, I thank you so much. We wrap up. We have a couple more questions. Glenda, go ahead and unmute.
Thank you. I was just a little confused on, I get how the binary works. Is this kind of like a weekly strategy? Because the thing that confused me is Barbara said, that her legs, like her power leg and pay leg, flip-flop back and forth. So I happened to look at mine the other day. I'm just learning that this is important, and they were kind of equal. So is this like every week I should look and say, well, I need really more in my power leg and put it on there. And then the next time I look and, so it's really every time I place somebody, I should look at that and try to think about what would my next payout be if I put them on a certain place.
So Janet, can I speak to Glenda as well? Another piece of information that I found, Glenda, is also when you're getting ready to enroll someone, know a little bit more about them as well. Like, do they already have a practice? Are they going to be sharing? Because if you're looking every single day in your back leg and you in your back office and you see that your legs are equal, that's not good, right? Because you're going to lose out on compensation. It's not the maximal ideal. You're going to want to investigate the individual and then be able to place them strategically, right? So if you need more on your right leg, you're going to want to put a person on that right leg to help you build that volume so that you can cycle more.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenda. Kathy Loudermilk, go ahead and unmute.
Hey, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. I actually understand now. Okay, I'm not going to swear I understand everything, but I understand most of it. I do have a question, though. So I have a couple of people who came in on the old, like they bought the gold package, let's say, and it says on their numbers that they have to get 110 PV a week, but yet they're not a manager and have never been a manager. So are they only expected to get 55, or do they have to get that 110?
Barbara?
And they're not a manager.
They are not a manager, but it.
Okay, I don't I don't know the origin of that statement, but you only need 55. And it's not a week, it's 55 in a 31-day period of time. If you
Right.
place an order on the 12th of the month, you have 31 days from then that you are going to be qualified. And so, no, yeah, you just need 55 or 110, whichever, but 55 is all you need if you're not a
Okay.
manager.
One
says
thing
rolling-
I'd like to just clarify is that
Okay.
only managers and above with 110 personal volume cycle any given week, okay? If they are not at that manager status, in other words, 2 people on the left, 2 people on the right that have 180 BV or greater lifetime, then the volume just sits there and holds until you do qualify at that manager level in order to be able to cycle and earn the $50 commissions.
Liz, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Perfectly said. And here's why you and your team want to get to manager, you guys. It's honestly 4 people, I'll be honest, isn't much. Everybody out there needs this product. Half of the people over 50 are taking pain medications. You just have to talk to them, right? Get out, share this miracle. You can save lives. Thank you, Kathy. Michelle, go ahead again if you need
Yes,
some-
yes. It's so funny that you guys mentioned how we flip-flop, because that's exactly what just happened to my husband and I. After over 5 years of being in the business or in this company, we just flip-flopped. And so now, I mean, we were going so strong, we outdid our success partners that brought us in. And so that's pretty cool, but it's making us hustle all over again. So good googly muggly.
Good, congratulations, MJ. Thank you. Thank you. for
Thank you.
sharing. Elizabeth, go ahead and unmute.
Oh, thank you, Janet. Good morning, everybody. I have a question, and I don't understand it, and hopefully the experts on the call here will be able to help to explain it. So we have somebody in our organization. She has been in under a year, and she's been working. She's introduced a lot of people. She just hit manager last week. Now, this is interesting because she had 52,000 on her lesser volume leg and over 200,000 on her greater volume leg. She hit manager, she cycled out, she made $1,500 plus some extra. Now we are baffled because a whole bunch of volume flushed for her. Can somebody explain that? I would have thought what we were thinking was that volume would stay and she would continue to cycle now at manager. And
Okay,
she had enough.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting. You have a really excellent question, but it's really specific, and we need to
Okay.
really dig in and figure out what happened. Okay, who's your upline sponsor?
He's really not in the business, but I go up through April Vaughn.
Okay, April, we'll help you. April can help you because you need corporate to go back in and dig out what happened there.
Okay. And actually, we did, but I still don't understand it. And I plan on going back to April, but is it a yes or a no? Does volume flush like that? Do you know, or?
It depends on the situation. That's why I can't
Okay.
give you
All
an
right.
yes or no.
Okay. Thank you, Janet. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
The other part of that is every time it cycled with 660 and 330, those volumes get deducted from the appropriate side. So if she cycled that many times,
Correct.
that much volume would have been decreased and carried forward. And the other thing is that you're limited on the amount you can make cycling as a manager every single week. I'm going to direct
Correct.
you all to go look at the compensation plan. It's on the comp plan tab, and you'll be able to see how much you'd be eligible for earning commissions on every rank level.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Elizabeth. Good.
Yeah, thank you, ladies.
I would like to pause, and I know we're at the top of the hour. Someone that has this question under Samsung, it says, if you sign up a partner, why do you have the right to move someone that you've not recruited to another leg to benefit you? That is absolutely incorrect. Great question, but not true. You don't have the right to move people around to benefit you. If you had someone in your downline sign up someone on their leg, you can't decide, hey, I want them over here. That's their enrollee. That's where they place them. But a good question, right?
In other
So-
words, it's only the personals that if you don't put them on the leg that you are wanting to work with them on, you have the 5-day time frame for that. It's only
Right.
personal enrollments, though.
Thank you, Liz. And to that point, you might not have heard our explanation, the person Samsung who asked this. So you do not have the right to move someone else's. That's real easy. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I think we've had most of the questions. I'm sure there'll more come up. You'll be driving along going, wait, did I hear this right? So go ahead. Liz is going to be posting the recording in the Live Younger YouTube channel. We may have a link if she wants to put it in the Live Younger Facebook page as this is ready.
I'll put the video in there too. It takes a little time for it to finish and propagate. Then I can get it into the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for all your great questions and learning. We're all in this together. It's all a team effort. We're all here to help you learn. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Dr. Velvet. Thank you, Barbara Larrabee. Thank you, everybody. We hope it helped. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a great help. Thank you.
Blessings, everyone, and happy healing.
Wonderful information.
Synergy.
It was long
needed. Thank you.
Be the light
Yes.
that everyone sees.
Great
All right.
job.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, amazing job.
Appreciate you, ladies.
Presentation.
So much.
That's a